Hello and welcome to Slacker Cap. This here is the Slacker Cap coming live to you from Lexington Avenue, and here we go. So in week 6 we had Shrimpopolis going over. Why you mad, bro? You mad, bro? Let's just say Summit. He ended up with 355 to 301, a 6-1 week. Madison Bumgarner led all scorers with 46 points over 2 starts. He struck out 18 over 13 innings pitched, which is ridiculous. Clay Bucko continues to baffle the fuck out of me by pitching like some kind of Cy Young candidate after years of sucking dick for dollar bills in the back of alleys from beyond Fenway Park. He had 32 points on his week. Trevor Cahill, tossing his heavy ball, was right on point. He had 34 points in week 6. Only 7 strikeouts, but when you're so busy inducing ground balls with your heft, you just, you get it done in ways beyond the strikeout. Hitting-wise, the Shrimp was led by Buster Posey, who had a 26-point week, and Mr. McCutcheon, along with Elvis Andrus, both had 24 points. For Summit, it's been a long Longoria time, but Evan Longoria is finally hitting and healthy. Like the world-class third baseman he is. To those of you who, are somewhat new to this process, for an idea as to how long Summit's been waiting on Longoria, Ava Longoria was actually relevant in pop culture when we began this, epic trolling of Summit, year in, year out, injury, and then, not hitting the way he's supposed to. But, yeah, that makes me wonder, just how much Ava Longoria is charging people on the street corner that she's currently working in. And is that street corner across the way from Lindsay Lohan or Amanda Bynes? I mean, I know we're in a recession and all, and, I guess the economy is recovering, but I'm willing to bet that $20 could get you an awful long way with those three. Anyway, Longoria had 11 RBIs and 53 points. Jason Kipnis also rewarded Summit, fucking pigeons and shit. Jason Kipnis also rewarded Summit for giving him another shot at being your second baseman. He had 32 points in a 2-home run week. The slugger formerly known as E5, currently known as E3, Mr. Edwin Encarnacion, had 31 points of his own. Edwin Encarnacion is up to like 11 home runs already this year, doing a bang-up job for proving that last year was no fluke. Anyway, as far as pitching goes, was the only person of any value on this week off of Summit's staff, and I guess that must have made him mad, bro? Anyway, Darvish had 30 points in a win, but the remainder of Summit's pitchers kind of took the week off. I think CC had like 4 points, and Romo might have had 2, which led an awful low way towards the low score of the week and a 1-6 week for Mr. Summit. Anyway, with the win, the Shrimp now find themselves in second place of the West, while with the loss, You Mad Bro is sitting also in second place in the East. Too Legit to Quit over Ric Flair in blue underwear, 397 to 338, also a 6-1 week. Beltre led the way. He had a ridiculous 4-for-4 game, one of those monster mash shots out of Beltre, where he takes the swing and drops down onto one knee, just watches it go out. Mind you, because umpires absolutely suck, they had to review it to see whether it was 10 or 20 feet above that yellow line there over in Houston. Why do they even let that fucking train sit there? Just push the stadium over a little bit, no? Anyway, Beltre had a team-high 30 points. Trailing behind Beltre were 3 25-point weeks, one from my boy Mike Trout, one from a 10-hit week out of Mr. Rios, thank you, Quinto, and one out of ad-drop A-Rod wannabe, Mr. Manny Machado. Machado finished out the week with 3 3-hit games in a row. Which, I guess I can't get used to this kid hitting over 400 every single week, but I'm damn sure going to ride out that hot streak while little A-Royd is, mashing along. On the pitching end, Cliff Lee showed what he could do when the fucking Phillies actually give him some goddamn run support. He had 54 points in a 2-win week. C.J. Wilson had 38 points in a 2-quality start week, thanks mainly to his 15 strikeouts. While that frustrating bastard might walk the fucking world, he's somehow still putting up decent inning and strikeout numbers, so I guess I'll keep him. Finally, Dumpy and the Chen Man had 31 points apiece, and while I'm still miffed that Chen Man pussed out of a fucking shutout on Sunday, 30 points out of all my 2 starters is good enough. For Brian, the one sporting blue underwear, James Shields got trolled twice by that shitty Royal squad. Went 8 innings in both starts, giving up 0 runs the first time and 2 runs the second time, yet couldn't manage a win in either one. My thanks go out to Ned Yost, who doesn't have the common sense to leave James Shields in when he's fucking cruising, instead bringing in Greg Holland to blow that shit in like 4 batters. Matt Cain put away some of the early season worries as he had a dominating 8-inning win that went for 30 points. Brian also got 27 points out of his closers. By the way, you're welcome for Jason Grilli. Can you believe I would have 31 saves right now if I would have kept Grilli as my closer? I think I've had 31 saves over the last 5 fucking seasons. The hitting for Brian kind of underwhelmed. And I mean, it kind of figure 4s, as Desmond Jennings and Bryce Harper both took the back half of the week off. I'm pretty sure Harper had like 9 hits off of me the first week, and his like 3 home run mash job. This time around, he had all of like 9 at-bats, which I could get really used to. Also, I think this is the first time that Verlander ever registered a non-quality start over his BBAB career. With the win, 2-0 Jit to quit, starts to slowly climb back into the range of contention, remaining in 4th place, but now only 7 games behind the East. Brian, however, dropping down to 3rd, still remains only 2 games back of 1st place. In the Totoro Bowl, for the second time in 3 weeks, Matty T topped Patty T. And when we think of Matty's lineup and the all-star caliber names, you'd be hard-pressed to figure out who was the one who led the way for the Kings in Week 6. In fact, I'll give you a minute. Not really. I'll just take it a shot. Take a guess. Did you say Nick Swisher? Was Nick Swisher your guess as to who led Matt? I didn't think so. Swisher Chips had himself a 33-point week that led the Kings court, barely finishing a nudge above Sinshu Mushu Pork with his 30-point week. Jared Parker actually decided to pretend that he was a prospect again and had himself a 38.2 start week. Chris Capuano pretended that he was healthy and effective for once. He had a 34.2 start week. And then Ernesto Fury found himself 1 win shy of the K-Rod Memorial Week, picking up 3 saves and 31 points, but missing out on that win. Patty T had himself a strong week, but ended up missing out, taking the loss to his son on a hard week. Adam Wainwright certainly did his job. He banged out a 54-point complete game shutout, throwing a 2-hitter against the Rockies the day after Shelby Miller 1 hit the same exact Rockies lineup. Rockies went 0-50 on this bad boy during the week. I think over like 17 innings. Just not good for the number 1 offense in the National League. Bronson Arroyo and Hideki Kuroda both put up 38 points on the week. Hitting-wise, you're not going to lose many weeks when 60-year hitters go for over 20 points on the week, but that's exactly what happened here to Patty. Crush Davis led the way with 29 points. J-Roll had 26. Biogenesis Braun had 23. Don't You Know Cano had 22. Had 21 points. And 4th overall pick, Chase Headley even put up 20 points himself. Unfortunately, they all came together to finish just a Brian Braun short of winning the week. With the win, Matty T puts up another game between himself and his dad in the West. Down with the Kings, sits in 3rd place of the West, sitting 2 games above Patty T at 23-19. Get Your Money's Worth got his money's worth over Harvey's Walls Bangers. 434 points. Holy shit, Kyle. Over Quinto's 385, also good for a 6-1 week, which apparently is a theme in week number 6. Harvey Wallbangers had their best week of the season thus far, but just ran into a bit of bad luck as Kyle's roster absolutely went off. Chris Sale, he might throw kind of weird, he might look like a fucking twiggy crackhead, but he had a week-high 68 points, throwing a 7-strikeout complete game shutout against those LA Angels on Sunday. JJ had himself a 27-point week for Kyle, and for those of you with the puzzled look on your face at home, you didn't miss any trades. I'm talking about Jim Johnson, not Josh Johnson and his fucking blown-ass tricep. Sorry, Quinto. Kyle's lineup is what really broke it open, though, as Joe Mauer got back to his batting title ways. He had a 16-hit week, good for 44 points. Joey Batista had 2 bombs and 36 points, and Chase Utley continues to prove his health, smacking 11 hits for 30 points on the week. Matty T favorites, Aldetron Simmons, had himself a 27-point week as well, while Kung Fu Panda and Nick Markakis both had 25 points apiece. When you look at the output from Quinto's roster on week 6, it really doesn't look like a team that lost, much less so a team that got manhandled. Pence and Gene Segura both had 34 points, and how I wish I actually needed a shortstop, considering I was on the Segura thing pre-draft. Dusty P had himself 33 points. Hell, I mean, every hitter not named Kubel basically made it into double digits for Quinto. The pitching staff had multiple head-banger moments for Mr. Bangers. I mean, Ubaldo did his thing. He had his strongest week in, I think, like 5 years. Week that ended up going for about 58 points. However, on the other end of things, James McDonald decided to completely skip his 2-start week, putting up a goose egg and, opting for the 15-day DL rather than making 2 starts against 2 crap teams. Equally head-banging moment for Q, and most of you Mets-centric fans in this league, is that Matt Harvey threw a one-hitter. That's 9 innings, 1 hit, 12 strikeouts, and took a no decision. Only the fucking Mets could pull that off. Only the Mets could possibly not get the kid a win when he threw like 120 pitches and I think maybe 2 of them got hit. Bad enough you have this kid pitching his young-ass arm off for you, but you can't even give the motherfucker a single run? Come on. Despite the fact that the Mets' lowly lineup couldn't register a single decision from Matt Harvey over the week, he put in 2 masterful starts and somehow made it to 42 points on the week. The tough luck loss continues a rough start to the season for the Bangers, who find themselves at the league low 8-34 on the year. However, the season's still really early. There's a good 12 to 13 starts before All-Star break for most pitchers who are going to remain healthy, and that leaves plenty of opportunity for Quinto to make up ground. Kyle finds himself on top of the East, 25-17 on the year. In the Lime-A-Way Toilet Bowl of the Week, QCBB tops Gold Member.
Yeah, baby.
By 49 and 3 points, going 5-2 and missing out on that elusive 6th wing by all of 2/3 of a point. New Mike had both of his keeping pitchers, the holdover from the Dansby era, cross the 40-point plateau on Week 6. John Lester threw himself a 5K complete game shutout over the Blue Jays that went for a team-high 49 points. And Tim Lincecum looked like the Timmy of old, striking out 14 over his 14 innings of work, picking up 43 points for his efforts. Paul Maham continues his good start. He had a 1 good start, 1 bad start kind of week that went for 29 points. While Mark Reynolds may not have made much contact in Week 6, the contact that he made kind of left the yard. He had all 5 hits over the week, but he did have 29 points. Chrissy was led by the only Philly starter I didn't have on roster in the last 4 years, Kyle Kendrick. Double K had himself 44 points over a 2-quality start week. Mark Burley had the 2nd highest point total on her pitching staff and then was promptly rewarded by getting cut. Hitting-wise, the only thing really left to say here is that she loves gold.
Never show up like Austin Powers.
To put that into perspective for you, Goldie here had 4 home runs on the week at 41 points. The remainder of Chrissy's hitting roster had 4 home runs on the week. The 5-2 week got QCBB up to a BBAB high 30 wins on the year. He sits atop the West and atop all of us at this point, while Gold Member remains at the bottom of the West at 15-27, but is just 8 games out of 3rd place. Looking ahead, looking at this week, I'm going to go with New Mike versus Matty Balls as the game of the week. Both teams are playing strong and have plenty of starts to throw at each other in Week 7. Considering that when I wrote this here, it was 1:40 in the morning on Wednesday, just like a 1.25 separated the 2 teams. Anyway, this has been Mikey Nuts with your first ever video slap a cat, reminding you that defense wins championships. No, that's not right. Fuck, wrong sport. Pitching. Pitching that I don't understand is the reason why I never win.